All right. Good morning, everybody. Early morning crypto talk. Bitcoin Brandon here. It's been a while. I've been gone for a couple of days. So we're actually a little bit behind. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you are listening in from. It's Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. I see Darnell Abram from the OKC. Good morning, Darnell. Mafoose. Going on, Mafoose? Lashana Robinson, Stan Williams, Linda Gallardo. Hey, Linda, are you coming down for the event in LA on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th? I see Freedom Fighter Brandon Harris from Seattle. Welcome. Merrick from Sweden. Eric White from North Carolina. Rohan from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome, everybody. So I've missed a lot of news, but I can't cover everything. So I'm going to cover some good articles today. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to go into. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1. Education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What vehicle are you using to make it happen? Put your head down and stay focused. Do not get distracted. Distraction will kill everything. Now, following these rules is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. Good morning, Miss Diana Townsend. Diana, as soon as possible, we're going to have a call with me, you, and Mike. And we also need to introduce you to Mark Januszewski. He's going to be the event coordinator for your event for Philly. Good deal. All right, let's go over a couple of articles. I got to hit the screen share. You have to see my screen. All right, let's see. We're going to talk about this article is actually 2 days old. I wanted to cover. and haven't been able to. My schedule has been topsy-turvy this week. So I need to get these crypto talks in here. So you should be able to see my screen in a second. And I will put a link to this article in the box. Be able to see my screen in a second. All right. Draconian digital search laws threaten Bitcoiners passing through customs. And this is part of my security teaching that I go over when it comes to crypto. How to travel with Bitcoin. You know, I see guys sometimes that they have their crypto shirts on, crypto hats on. They've got stickers on their laptops at airports. I would not suggest you do any of that. I know it's great to want to brand yourself, and in the network marketing space, it is all about the life, the lifestyle, you know, the car, the house, and all that cool stuff. In crypto, though, that can get you kidnapped. That can get you robbed because you are the bank. And you're advertising to everybody what you got, and that can be taken from you. And so even though I'm Bitcoin Brandon, I'm not going to have Bitcoin Brandon plastered all over my car. I'm not going to be walking through the airport with my Bitcoin Brandon t-shirt on. It's more for security. Yeah, it would be good exposure, but also security. And there's laws right now when you travel. You're not allowed to travel with more than $10,000 cash on you. Well, what do you do when you've got more than $10,000 worth of crypto that you have access at any given time? I mean, it's the same scenario. If I got my debit card, I got more than $10,000 in my bank. So anywhere that Visa accepted, I can, you know, I'm traveling with more than 10,000, but they're talking about physical cash. And technically, if you've got your Bitcoin on your laptop, on a Trezor wallet, any of that stuff, you're in violation or breach of customs laws. And each country was different on this. I got asked the question when I was coming from Sweden into the UK. Now, they didn't ask me that question when I landed in Sweden, but on my way back, they started asking about some crypto stuff. I'm like, wait, well, why are you asking me? I don't have nothing. I didn't have it on my. One thing, I don't travel with my laptop that has all my crypto information. I have a backup laptop that I travel with. I don't have the crypto on my phone. I didn't take any Trezor or Ledger wallet because I know that stuff can be confiscated or you can be robbed. But that's a whole nother series. How to travel with crypto. So draconian legislation in a series of supposedly liberal democracies is encroaching on the rights of travelers. New Zealand is the latest nation to pass laws granting customs agents unprecedented investigatory powers, including the right to force travelers to disclose their passwords or face a $5,000 fine. The news has understandably been greeted with alarm by Bitcoiners who have particular reason to prize their privacy. Travelers passing through customs are particularly vulnerable to state intrusion into their personal lives. Airports occupy a sort of netherworld in which the normal laws protecting citizens are relaxed under the guise of protecting national security, while preventing terrorists and other dangerous criminals from gaining entry is a justifiable reason for profiling and potentially searching new arrivals. It's also used as a dragnet exercise. You see that? There is no real law on this. They just do whatever the hell they want to do. From cypherpunks to activists, anyone deemed vaguely anti-government, despite presenting no physical threat to the state, are prone to be hauled up for interrogation, laptop inspected, cell phone scrutinized, and now password demanded. What would you do if they pulled you into a side room for interrogation and say, give us your password to your cell phone? Would you give it to them? Would you hold out? Would they say, yeah, you're going to miss your flight, so you better give up your password. We'll hold you for 24 hours. They can make life a living hell. That's why I wouldn't even want to put myself in that situation, because I can end up being an arrogant American real quick. But my butt's in a different country. Can't pull that. In fact, that's going to hurt me. The fact that I'm an American anyway, because all they're going to see is, well, let me not go there. Let's just say America's not too popular around the world right now. New Zealand's national security measures are not usually mentioned in the same breath as those of more oppressive regimes, such as the U.S. You see that? I think the U.S. is an oppressive regime. Its latest customs law has placed the Antipodean territory firmly in the limelight. However, it had Bitcoiners vowing never to return. Travelers who refuse to produce the password to their electronic device upon request could be handed a $5,000 fine. What? The Customs and Excise Act of 2018 effectively authorizes digital strip searches. What if you don't know the law? You're still subject to it. Ignorance of the law does not grant you immunity. Now, while some caveats have been introduced, the search will supposedly be limited to data stored on the device and not to connected cloud accounts. It is nevertheless a cause for concern. The number of travelers who are forced to reveal their passwords by New Zealand officials is relatively low. 540 devices were searched in 2017. There are fears, however, that the new Customs and Excise Act will lead to an increase in the searches and set a dangerous precedent that could be emulated by the other Five Eyes nations, completed by Australia, Canada, the UK, and the US. The quintet are parties to a multilateral signals intelligence agreement. Basically, they speak English, all right? Let's just cut the crap. In effect, this means that the US could use New Zealand as a conduit for sweeping up intelligence on a target passing through customs. Thus, despite its diminutive, okay, let me break that down in layman's terms. Let's say the US got you, they're watching you, you're on their watch list for whatever reason, and you travel through New Zealand. They could send a message to New Zealand and use New Zealand laws to pull you aside, even though it's not a United States law. That's what that means. That's what that whole sweeping up of intelligence is between the five countries. Now, despite its diminutive size, the ramifications of New Zealand's new law are potentially huge, which also means they can pull somebody aside in the United States based off of New Zealand law, not US law, if they want to mess with you. There's power in knowing your rights. So I'm learning something new on this as well. So if the US had me on some list, although I'm not breaking any US law, they can go by, well, we're going by New Zealand's intelligence because you're traveling internationally and blah, blah, blah. We've got this five country, the Five Eyes Nations agreement. Wow, that's alarming. As border controls become more draconian in conducting digital strip searches, it will become more important to protect your data by leaving it at home. I agree. And downloading it later via a tool such as @syncing. I don't know what that one is. Syncing. Andreas Antonopoulos was even blunter, tweeting, "It was nice visiting New Zealand twice. Pity I won't be going back. In today's society, this kind of Orwellian bull crap is unacceptable." News.bitcoin.com has previously published, that's something else. Yeah, they previously published guides on protecting your privacy and concealing your affinity for cryptocurrency when traveling abroad to avoid scrutiny. While owning cryptocurrency is not illegal, it may be enough to invite an enhanced search should customs Agents subsequently uncover a digital wallet holding a large amount of crypto. Law-abiding travelers could find themselves facing some tough questions under the assumption of guilty until proven innocent. You know what? Tonight, for Late Night Crypto Talk, which will be done at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to cover that. I don't think I read these two articles. Guides on protecting your privacy and concealing your affinity when traveling. So we're going to learn something new tonight. I'm going to cover those two articles tonight. That'll be interesting. All right. Let me close out this article. Yeah, how to protect your Bitcoin and your privacy when passing through. I did cover this. I did a Facebook Live on this, December 2017, but I'll do it again because that's almost a year ago. So we'll cover this tonight and the other one. Bitcoin stickers attract unwanted attention from authorities. I covered this one too, but I'm going to cover it again. We'll cover it again tonight. This is why keep a low profile. When I travel, I have either a hoodie or my sunglasses. The moment I hit that plane, I am lights out. I don't open my eyes. I don't need water. I don't need, some snacks unless I'm traveling international. And I open my eyes when the wheels touch down. I don't engage in conversation other than, hi, how you doing? That's just me. All right, so let's look at, no, not Ripple yet. Bitcoin is still at an early stage. Don't tell me, did I delete that article again? No, here we go. Bitcoin, where are Bitcoin swings headed? A rundown of recent events. Okay. Let's get a rundown on some recent events. Let me post this. It seems that Bitcoin swings cause a butterfly effect throughout the entire market. But what causes these swings in the first place? Well, here's the summary of the last few days. The end of September was full of suspense and surprises, with Bitcoin 6574 racing from 6,400 to 6,700. Many traders were eager to celebrate the time when the coin surpassed this obstacle and headed for the $7,000 mark, but that didn't happen. Not yet, anyway. In fact, FX Empire noted that yesterday was Bitcoin's fourth red day in a row. Although yesterday started off on a good trend, certain events canceled the positive course and tossed Bitcoin's price by $100 this morning. A Wall Street Journal feature on Bitcoin price manipulations by bots has an influence worth considering. The gist of the respective piece is summarized in the first two sentences alone. Investors know Bitcoin's violent mood swings well. What they often don't know is that unscrupulous traders wielding purpose-built software can be behind them. And I agree with that. Linda has a question. Linda says, what do you mean you don't have anything crypto on your phone? What I mean is there are some programs where you can actually have wallets on your smartphone, where your smartphone is actually carrying your Bitcoin. Not cloud, I'm not talking about like bread or anything like that. I'm just talking about your phone is the physical. Well, actually, yeah, you consider bread in that standpoint, kind of. I wonder if bread is considered a cloud wallet. I'm going to have to look into that one. But your phone could be like Trezor or Ledger. And in that access, no, bread, because it's an app. So I don't know. I got to look that one up. But yeah, you don't want to travel with Bitcoin that's stored on your mobile device. You can lose your mobile device. See, even if, let's say if you've got the bread wallet, and I do know this, and you lose your phone, well, you've got your backup key, which means if you download the app on any other device and you've got your 12-digit security authorization, you can pull back up your account. So you got that safety net there. So anyways, there's no one to blame Because after all, everyone knows that this is likely true. The Wall Street Journal also pointed out that this imposes numerous obstacles when it comes down to regulating and authorizing the cryptocurrencies market. Essentially, the SEC cannot authorize and oversee the market due to the fact that it is vulnerable to abusive bots. And the bots are free to operate as long as the market remains unsupervised. Cryptocurrency investors are left as victims themselves in an absurd loop until someone comes up with a solution. Okay, well, stop right there. There's a video, and I shared it. It's on my Facebook page by Tim Draper. Short, quick interview. And the woman asked him, what do you think about the Bitcoin market right now? It's been in a bear market all year. And he said, I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about the day-to-day flow of what the price of Bitcoin is because I'm long. I'm looking down the road. I'm looking years from now. So whatever the market is today, it doesn't matter. He did another talk on, I don't know, it was a TED talk. He said, I don't care if the price of Bitcoin goes to $3,000 because he lost on one of his businesses, his bank, 150 something million. And he actually was celebrating. He was like, this is the first step. Those of you that is looking at the market only because you're looking at fast money, I got to make money tomorrow, and you're flipping out because Bitcoin dropped $300, you're going to have a hard time. And understanding that, and I agree with what they're saying. I believe that there is market manipulation taking place. There is. There's just not enough volume yet where that's not going to make a difference. Because even the stock market, you don't think insider trading and stuff's going on every single day, market manipulation, but there's so much volume that it's only a blip on the radar screen for a short period of time. Since crypto has such low volume, one major whale can come in there and spook the market. One mention from Jamie Dimon or Warren Buffett or Bill Gates can spook the market and have everybody move on one side. The CME betting against it, forcibly keeping the market down. So you can't look at this as today. You got to look at this down the road on where it's going to be. All right. Essentially, the SEC cannot authorize and oversee the market due to the fact that it is vulnerable to abusive bots. That's also why I don't day trade as much as I don't day trade at all anymore. The way I flipped my first $30, I was day trading. I was doing micro transactions, earning 0.5% to 2 or 3% to even on one day I did 10% on one transaction. So I might do 7 to 10 trades a day. That's how I was able to flip that money that fast. But I stopped. The reason why I stopped is because of the bots. You cannot beat a computer. They're able to maneuver faster than you. So my profit margin was smaller. And I really didn't feel like sitting in front of a computer screen staring at it all doggone day. That wasn't my idea of living. There's people that love doing that. That's just not me. I'd rather put in a sale. I'll put a short sell on it or a stop loss. If it drops this low, automatically sell. If it goes this high, automatically buy. Now, I'm more into doing it that way. Or here's another hint. And one of the co-owners of KGX, Will, was talking about this. How All right, testing. I should be back. So if you can hear me, go ahead and type Y in the chat box. So I'm gonna assume you can. So I'm gonna keep going. But like I was saying, I was off by a matter of hours because I was up late and I was watching what was going on in China and Europe since they were already up. And had I gone to sleep, I wouldn't have lost $2,000. In fact, I would have made a whole lot more money. But anyways, let's look at when you see the market right here, you see it flipped into the green, but you see Tether in the red. A few hours ago, everything was in the red and Tether was in the green. And this is a basic elementary way of looking at the markets. But what's going on is the experienced people are moving their coins out of Tether because it's tied to the US dollar almost 1-to-1, and they're moving it back into the market. In other words, no new money is hitting the market. Here's another thing I look at, and I was explaining this to one of my business partners the other night. I was explaining to her how I'm able to kind of read what the market is doing. See this market cap of 218 billion? So when you start seeing this flip from green to red, but you see this number not really going up that much, no new money is entering the space. It's people moving around all their coins because they're trading against the other coins, or moving from altcoins into Tether and then Tether back into the altcoins. You make a killing doing that. If people did that in December last year, they wouldn't have lost all their Bitcoin. Instead, they sold and took the US dollar in their bank account. You didn't need to do it that way. But that's one smart way. Another thing I look at is when I start seeing this go up, let's say this goes up to $300 billion market cap. That meant it had an extra, 70 something billion of fresh outside money comes into the market. Well, Bitcoin dominance is half. So you would expect half of that, so 40 something billion is going to go to the Bitcoin market cap. The other 40 billion is going to go to the rest of the altcoins, which means by default, all of the other altcoins are going to rise in tandem. It doesn't mean that some new news came out on Ripple or Bitcoin Cash or EOS. It's just they're rising with the tide. When you pour more water into a river, all boats rise with the tide. So that's another way that I'm able to chart what's happening. Now, every now and then, you might see in the news that something's going down, like what happened the last couple of weeks with Ripple. Now, no new money entered the market, but Ripple rose by 100%. Why? Because other people started selling their other coins and putting it into Ripple. It wasn't new money coming into the space. How do you know that? Well, you look at here. Has this entire market cap grown? So by doing this is why I'm able to have good, and by no means am I a licensed financial advisor to be giving you financial advice. I just kind of figured it out. There's a pattern to certain things. The only thing that you cannot predict is human nature and people and how people are going to react. But at the same time, people can be sheeps. And they're followers more than leaders, and they're reactive more than proactive. So I can tell if the market's about to drop because of FOMO, or if the market's about to raise because there's some good news. But it's a skill. It's not like I have intuition. I just know how to read the charts, and that comes with education. So when we talk about Green X, for example, or better yet, I'll use Electronium because people seem to still not get this. Even me and my partner, Jairus Coleman, had a disagreement on this last year when people were thinking, oh, Electronium is going to jump to $1 or $2 or $7. I knew it was impossible for it to do so. Not because that Electronium didn't have a great idea or anything, the volume just wasn't there for it. The only reason why Ripple got over $3 was because this coin market cap was over 800 billion. The moment it dropped, when you take water out of a river, all boats sink or all boats go down. So when I saw this entire market cap drop, I knew Electronium was going to drop, and then it's going to create FOMO and more people start to sell. And so I said, now's the time to sell. The only way, let's see, what is ETN at right now? So So this had a little bit of rally. It was at half a cent. Now it's at almost 2 cents, up 2.25%. Brandon, when will Electroneum get to 10 cents? Only two ways Electroneum will get back to 10 cents. If there's major news in the market that they're actually doing what they say they can do, mining on your smartphone or whatever they're doing, and there's huge breakthrough on that, then people are going to start selling their other coins to buy Electroneum. Or the only way it will go up is when you see this total market cap to get 10 cents, this thing's going to need to be back into the $700 billion range for this to go back to 10 cents. Why? Because the volume is there. This is something you want to, if you're going to trade, if you're not looking at, just long-term stuff, if you want to have an accurate projection, you got to know this. It's just like Green X. I have a good idea. I know when Green X, when it's on the market at 1 cent, 5 cents, I have a good feeling. I know when it's going to rise and when it's going to have a market correction, and then when it will rise again. It will happen. It's just a matter of timing it the right way, because I know how to read the market. And I just gave you guys some free ass education here that costs a lot of money. But since I'm not a licensed financial advisor, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just kind of sharing what I do, how I know how to read the market. Bouger said, insider info. It pays to be part of our community. It pays to be part of KGX, but you got to pay for that access. You feel me? All right. Let me get back to the article here. I got way off track on that one. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's price continued its way down, loyally followed by altcoins. Bitcoin is 1.29% down at the time of writing, still under $6,500, which is widely considered an important point of resistance by traders. The market made another steep slide around 10 a.m. that failed to adjust. One could say most altcoins reflect Bitcoin's move at an amplified level. That's true. 90% of them are on the red side today, with an average loss ranging between 2 and 4%. Now, this is how fast things move. This article was just this morning at 4 a.m. Well, the market's in the green right now. So that happens. The market is currently found at a crossing point. There are only two ways it could pan out from here. Should Bitcoin rebound above $6,500 later today, the market trend would adjust and possibly stabilize. The less likely, but nevertheless existent, possibility is that Bitcoin might head towards 6,300 instead and bring a suite of cryptocurrencies along with it. Well, let's go back to the market. That was at 4 a.m. and they're wrong. It is not going to do that right now because it's back on the upswing. Now, it's turned again. It's a little bit on the downslide. So we're looking at it's flat. It's flat right now. You see a mix of both red and green. This would be a time to buy. This will be a time to buy. And then watch. Because the moment, if you do buy at the current price, and the moment you see the market swing down, you want to move it into USDT, whatever coins you buy. That's if you're playing this day-to-day game. I don't play the day-to-day game anymore. I just use it so I can project certain things. I'm not a day trader anymore. I'm long on all this. But this is important info to kind of master. And how did you know all that? I just did it, trial and error. I lost money along the way. I figured it out. It looked like Greek to me at first. But now I get it. That's why I read the news. The news tells me what's about to go down. How many people's reading this information on a daily basis? So this is my insider knowledge. Insider trading. All right, here's the last article up. Bitcoin is still at an early stage. If you hold 0.28 BT, see, you are part of the 1%. Bump that. You need to have at least one whole Bitcoin or forget about it. Forget about it. It is going to be a status symbol in the future. When everybody start talking about it, they're going to be like, hey, what's your crypto portfolio looking like? Well, I own a whole Bitcoin. And I was talking to another person in KGX. I won't say his name, so I don't want to put his business out there. But he was reading to me his crypto portfolio. And he's like, yeah, I got 30 BTCs. I got like 300 Ethereum coins. I got like a couple 100,000 ripples, and I got, basically almost $1 million worth of crypto. And that's going to be the conversation. I haven't talked about this in a long time, maybe 6 months. I said, fellas out there, you looking for a way to separate yourself if you're at the bar trying to pick up on some girl? And what are these guys always doing? They're bragging on themselves, where they work, their job, how much money they make, what type of car they drive, where they live, how they travel around. Accidentally, open up your phone on the counter and have Bitcoin on it. Let them see that. Watch her face completely change, and you'll have her all attention, because she's going to be like, wait, you're into Bitcoin? I've been hearing about it. I always wanted to get into it. Oh my gosh, can you tell me more about it? I know this by experience. Even at the freaking ear doctor, she gave me no attention until she started asking questions. Wait, so you're able to come in the middle of the day? You don't work a job? What do you do? I invest in cryptocurrencies. 100% her attention. Next thing, she's trying to ask me for lunch. This is a conversation starter, but it is also a status symbol, and it is going to build your wealth in the future. So let's see what this article is talking about here. Bitcoin is still at an early stage. It is. Due to the fixed supply of Bitcoin, former Google product director Steve Lee stated that only 1% of the world's population can own more than 0.28 BTC. Wow, I never looked at it that way. So this is giving me some new quotes to use. Because right now I run around, I say, look, there's 36 million billionaires and millionaires in the world today. Not every one of them can own one Bitcoin. But look at this one. Only 1% of the world's population can own more than 0.28 BTC. That's taking it to another level. Wow. Throughout, if you own 0.28 BTC and hold, you can be certain no more than 1% of the current world's population can ever own more BTC than you. How many of you guys always wanted to be part of the 1%? Man, I wish I was part of the 1%. Man, the 1% runs the world. They control everything. You want to be part of the 1%? All you need to do is own 0.28 BTC and hold on to it. Says a modest investment of $1,830 today can ensure you are a 1%er in a future Bitcoin world. That is powerful. I am saving that quote. Better believe that, and I'm going to be posting it later. Throughout the next few years, the scarcity of Bitcoin will increase as more investors and institutions continue to accumulate the cryptocurrency, which could further reduce the total possible number of individuals that can ever own one whole Bitcoin. That's why it's also important. You want to make sure that you own at least one whole Bitcoin. Do it now while it's cheap. The supply of Bitcoin is fixed at 21 million BTC. Hey, I'm going to Philly and Chicago, and I'm using this quote there. It's going to wake some people up in the room. I'm already got it. How many of you in here would love to be a 1%er? Raise your hand. If you didn't raise your hand, why are you even here? Really? You don't at least have some ambition in your life? The supply of Bitcoin is fixed at 21 million and cannot be altered. In late 2017, Chainalysis, a blockchain forensics company that monitors and investigates cryptocurrency transactions, revealed in a research paper that up to 4 million BTC are permanently lost on the blockchain as a result of theft, loss of wallets, and private keys. And the dormant wallet of Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto which experts have said is no longer accessible. There's 1 million Bitcoin sitting in that wallet. Somebody has access to it. Kim Grauer, a senior economist at Chainalysis. You know what? Think about playing the ultimate long game. Whoever controls that Satoshi wallet, they've been sitting on it for 9 years and not moved one piece of a Bitcoin. Imagine 10 years from now, and all of a sudden you realize that one entity controls 1 million Bitcoins, and the price of a Bitcoin is $500,000 per coin. And somebody owns a million of them. Really? That's mind-boggling. That they're playing the ultimate long game right there. All right, getting myself excited. I want to be a Bitcoin billionaire. Is that right, Bouger? Well, she says. Kim Grauer, senior economist at Chainalysis, said at the time that the lost supply of BTC is not taken into consideration by the market cap. That means the real price of BTC could be substantially higher, as 4 to 6 million BTC are estimated to be lost. 4 to 6 million. Or, yeah. That is a very complex question. On the one hand, direct calculations about market cap do not take lost coins into consideration. That's true. Considering how highly speculative this field is, those market cap calculations may make it into economic models of the market that impact spending activity. The 0.28 BTC figure introduced by Lee assumes the supply of Bitcoin to be 21 million, as it divides 21 million by 0.28 and divides the outcome of that by the world population, that is 7.4 billion. If the research of Chainalysis is accurate and that 4 to 6 million BTC are lost on the blockchain, the supply of Bitcoin should be closer to around 16 to 17 million. Based on the estimate that the supply of Bitcoin is around 17 million, only 0.8% of the world population can own more than 0.28 BTC, and less than 0.2 of the world population can own more than 1 BTC. So if you own one whole BTC right now, that's 0.2%. That's not even that's less than 0.5% of the population. You are in the elite. The elite of the elite of the elite. Now, this is for you investors out there. Brandon, should I buy one whole Bitcoin first, or should I buy a GreenX mining rig? Okay, because I have gotten that question so many times. You're an adult. I can't answer that for you. I'm not a licensed financial advisor yet. I will have my Series 6.5 in 2019. Then it's a whole nother ball game. But here is what I would do. I would buy 2 GreenX mining rigs. When the coins hit the market, I would sell just enough to make my money back. Always get your return on investment back first. And then I will buy a Bitcoin. Or if I have even more profit, use it to buy more mining rigs. Now, not only do I have my Bitcoin, like I would have if I had it originally, I own 2 mining rigs that's producing crypto coins every single month. And then I would take a percentage of those coins and put it into getting more Bitcoin. So I would have a budget. I would put maybe $500 or $1,000 a month into my Bitcoin crypto portfolio. Now, let's look at things. If I had just bought 1 Bitcoin and let it sit there, it's just sitting there waiting for the value to go up. By buying mining rigs and then using the profit from the mining rigs to buy more Bitcoin, Now, every single month, I have a consistent flow of adding to my Bitcoin portfolio while I still own one whole Bitcoin. Did you guys catch that? Learn how to flip money. They don't teach you this in network marketing. They teach you, oh, I'm a black diamond, I'm a regional vice president. You know, I'm now Darth Vader, and I'm making $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, and you go and buy the houses and the cars and the vacations, and you're flaunting it. Next thing you know, half your team jumped ship to another company because the owners acted like a damn fools. They couldn't keep up things on track. Now you lost your income, and you've got a $50,000 a month lifestyle, and you only have $10,000 a month coming in. See, what we're doing here with KGX, especially me specific, is teaching what to do with the money once you make it, how to flip it. And now you're living off of your money and not your own personal effort. Guys, see the difference? But again, that's privileged information that you got to pay for through Cryptogenics. So with that, I'm at the top of the hour now. I went a little bit long because I missed the last 2 days of Crypto Talk. Well, yeah, I did one yesterday, but it wasn't Crypto Talk. Yesterday, I talked about how crypto and Bitcoin is true freedom. That's going to be a running theme, especially throughout 2019. It is true freedom, equal playing field. If you missed it, go back to my YouTube channel, and it's up there. And if you like listening to me, because look, I am not on a schedule. I just roughly do 2 Crypto Talks a day around the same time. Doesn't mean I'm actually going to do it every day, or I will do it necessarily at that time. So the best thing to do is make sure you subscribe and you hit the little bell so that you get an alert when I go live. I will be doing it tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern because I always do it an hour before my KGX presentation. I will be doing that. Upcoming events, I'll be at the LA Crypto Invest Summit, October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Then that weekend, I'm flying to Philadelphia for the Diana Townsend's event, KGX event. And then I will be probably, and I still have a conference call to confirm this, but there will be a KGX event in Chicago. And this is roughly, so I'm not 100%, but the schedule is on November 10th. And then there's another crypto event in Chicago on November 17th. I cannot be at both. So I will be at the one on the 17th, not the one on the 10th. But there will be an event. You will have multiple co-owners, Marjana Zuski. They will be in Chicago on the 10th. And then I'm coming back on the 17th to follow up. So this will all be confirmed within the next 48 hours. So you guys know. And then I will be in Santa Clara, California for a whole week on the week of November, I think it's the 26th. That week, the 28th and 29th is a blockchain expo in Santa Clara. And then Linda and we have a radio show to do in Sacramento that same week. So it's good. We got a busy little travel schedule coming up the next couple of months. So if you guys want to fly in, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to. It's your prerogative. Do what you want to build your business. But I'm ready to hit the road. And then everything's going to skyrocket when we go into January 2019. I definitely will be in at least 2 cities a month. That's how I want my schedule to be. At least 2 cities a month outside of LA. I want to get out there. And it will be international. I'll be back in London. I'll be back in Sweden. They want us to schedule an African tour, South Africa and Nigeria. I want to sometime get to Malta, depending on what our Latino organizations do. Might make a trip to South America. So who knows? All I know is we're about to have a whole lot of fun. And who wants to roll with us is the question. We're going to make a whole lot of money at the same time, too. All right, with that, you guys have a great day. I will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. See you all tonight. God bless. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.